Hi, guys, this is Camilo, and welcome back to CONCACAFing. Last year, FIFA announced that the World Cups under 17 for boys and girls was going to be played every year instead of every other year, like it's been happening. The girls will play in Morocco, the boys will play in Qatar. Now, if you're a CONCACAF groupie, you already know the tournaments are being played. To talk about the repercussions for our region and our teams and our nations, I would like to welcome my friend and co-host Alex Banegas. Alex, welcome.
Hey, Camilo, how are you? I hope you're doing good. I hope everybody's doing great. Well, you said it right, but I completely understand, and this is an important topic that you already said. But it amazed me that you do not want to talk about Champions Cup, that you do not want to talk, and I completely understand. You were completely wrong, and times, the time just prove you wrong. But it's okay. Let's talk about this World Cup every single year. The only thing that I do not understand is how CONCACAF takes a tournament from our region and just put it somewhere else, whatever they want. And how are we going to see if the teams or the national teams are advancing? How are we going to see if they are really doing well? Or how are we going to follow the future stars of every single national team in Central America and CONCACAF, or just said USA or Canada? I mean, I completely understand. I am not against the tournament being played every single year, but taking this tournament to really far, far away from CONCACAF is just doesn't work for me.
Well, I think Morocco and Qatar talk to the FIFA. There's a saying in Spanish: the one who's putting the money decides what rhythm people are going to dance to, and I think that's what's happening. Morocco and Qatar are sponsoring these World Cups, and so that's where for the next 5 years the tournament is going to play.
Here's when I have an issue with this. Okay, so here in CONCACAF, in this area, in our region, with our tournament, we don't see the future stars of the national teams. But Qatar and Morocco gets to see the new revelations, these new players, the upcoming players. So doesn't this sound fishy to you? I mean, is this really what we want to do with CONCACAF soccer? Give our stars and just take them somewhere else. That way we don't have access to them, but whoever can sell them and whoever can actually put them in European teams have access to them even before
Oh,
the
but it's a
national
World
teams.
Cup.
No,
It's a World Cup. The World Cup is play. Here's what World Cup have. This is what World Cup has become, Alex.
who's going to televise this World Cup?
The
How are we
world
going to
the
follow
World Cups are played wherever there's enough money for the World Cup to be played, and it has to be set like it is.
No, 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 no. Well,
2022 Qatar. Despite all the concerns and all the human rights wariness around the World Cup was played in Qatar, and people spoke about the restrictions. The whole not selling alcohol in the stadiums, restrictions about some women visiting Qatar. The World Cup was played there. The World Cups are played, and this is what FIFA has turned a World Cup into, and is whoever has money will organize a World Cup. And Morocco and Qatar have money enough to organize not one, not two, but the next 5 World Cups under 17.
but here's my problem. My problem is that okay, and I get your idea. World Cups are played wherever there's money. We could say that. I believe it's a matter of rotation, and that's just plain simple. However, I believe that this tournament, I wouldn't call it World Cup. I would call it something else. Why?
It's a
Because
World
the
Cup,
World
though.
Cup. No, yeah, I
Best
mean, they
teams
call
from
it World Cup.
like the best national teams from the world will meet in Morocco and Qatar for the next 5 years, and they will play for the
Listen,
champion of the world tournament.
here's what I will do. If I was CONCACAF, I will say, look, I completely understand. I completely know you got money, but why not take this tournament and move it around? You, Qatar, still sponsor it. Morocco, you still can sponsor it. Saudi Arabia, you can still sponsor. Whoever wants to sponsor it, you can still sponsor it. But now You taking a tournament that's supposed to do a lot of things on every country that is played, not only soccer wise, but socially, and all the opportunities that it brings, and all the business that brings to every single time you take a World Cup somewhere in the world. I would say, okay, we can continue sponsoring. We'll be the main sponsors, but we'll take this World Cup somewhere else. We'll take it to Central America. We'll take it to South America. We'll take it to even the United States, and we'll still sponsoring. Same thing that they did with Gold Cup. They still put the money. They still sponsoring. You still have the platform. It's just being played somewhere else.
But
And
you're talking major tournaments. So here's the
no,
difference. You're talking major tournaments.
but a World Cup is not a major tournament.
A major tournament. The World Cup is a major. These are under 17 tournaments.
It's still a major tournament. And that's the problem. We keep treating these under 17, under 19, under 20 players like they're nothing, like they're nobody. That's the problem that we have.
But this is a developmental program.
No, we gotta start treating these
people like the idea. I like the idea.
Listen, MLS Next Pro, it's a very well organized league. You see those players, you see how they treat those players, you see the development that those players have, you see the infrastructure that all these players have. I mean, it's amazing. That's what we got to start doing around the world. Treating these under 17, under 20, under 21 players like real pros, because they're going to get there, Camilo. And the time is now, not when they get to 25, not when they get to 21. The time is now. You need to start treating these players like professionals. Don't wait until they're 20 or 21, because with the competitive level that you have now with soccer, it's too late for them. Right now is when you have to treat them right. They're going to travel right. Look at the MLS Next Pro. They already done it.
But that's the whole idea. But Alex, that's the whole idea behind this World Cups. And I'm going to tell you why. This category, the under 17, in many federations, this has been a cosmetic figure. It's makeup. And so they call a trainer every other year to put together a team and then go and do this tournament, and that's it. You were gone. You were done for the next 2 years.
Does that mean that's right?
Listen up. This new edition of the World Cup being played every single year makes any federation, including the smallest federations, because you're talking to me about MLS Next Pro, which is backed up by a huge multi-million company, which is
exactly like the FIFA, like the FIFA. Like FIFA.
Exactly.
And you're telling me FIFA is not a powerful organization?
It is. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. So now, if you are coaching for, let's say, if you're coaching for Anguilla, you are going to put together a team. You're going to go play. You're probably going to be kicked out. But then you're forced to come back and work for the next year. So the processes are going to be shorter, and they're supposed to be stronger. So what FIFA is looking for with this U17 tournament is for U17 generations to be working permanently and to be competing permanently. And so this guarantees growth and development for this category.
The only way you can guarantee growth, Camilo, is if you take these players, follow up with them, and make sure they get they get pros. They go to a pro team. They get minutes whenever they get to a pro level. I mean, that's the way you actually do it. Why not continue to play the World Cup every 2 years? Let me tell you something. There is a big problem right now that it does not matter. For instance, in CONCACAF, we have this huge problem. And let's focus only on CONCACAF. I don't care about UEFA. I don't care about I don't care about all these things. I care about CONCACAF. In CONCACAF, when you go south of the United States, every single country, Mexico, Panama, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, all Central America, they don't follow up with players. You have an amazing player that you see him play in a youth tournament. Oh my God, it's an amazing player. That player is going to make it to the pros. And you know what happened 2 years from there? You don't see that player anymore. That player vanished. That player is nowhere to be found. Why? Because we're not following up with players. It's the time under 17 where you got to start informing these players and make them believe, think, and feel that they are pros. that they are working towards a pro career, and the only way you're going to do it is by following up with them, but by staying on top of them. That's the only way you do it. You don't do it by making a World Cup every year, because what's going to happen now? You have a law that tells you that you got to have at least, what is it, 5 players on every pro team with under 17, under 19. You know what's going to happen now? They're not going to get the opportunity to play pro
But
because
that's not FIFA's.
they're
But
going to
that's
be
not
so
FIFA's duty,
concerned.
Alex.
No,
FIFA. Listen,
don't.
FIFA is not meant. Listen, FIFA is not meant to create professionalism. FIFA is meant to organize the game. The growth of professionalism is an individual task. It's not part of any confederation. It's not the duty of FIFA. It's not even the duty of individual every country federation. The growth, the path to professionality is an individual struggle. It's an individual struggle. So if you are demanding for federations, confederations, or the international federation to create a path for professionalism, you are detouring them from their actual task.
No, you're not.
Yes, you are.
No, you're not. You're making them, Camilo.
The
That's
first
the
step
purpose.
is the first step, and this is why I like the World Cup being played every single year, because you're going to make the federations actually work. They're going to work because they have to recruit teams. The tournament will finish, and the federations need to start working towards the next tournament.
This won't last, Camilo. This kind of tournament won't last because you're going to have players that are going to be so overloaded with games. They're going to have to play. Let's say Olympic Games
These are
come.
under
I mean,
17. They
these
don't play much,
this,
Alex. They don't
this is where
play.
you, Camilo, this is where you have to start. Under 17. We already know because we've done it the wrong way in CONCACAF. We've done it in the wrong way. What happened to our youth teams? Out of our youth teams in all CONCACAF, out of all of our national teams, how many players make it to the national team, to the big team, to the pro team? How many players go to the World Cup after they've been following a step by step under
Well, let
17?
me give you a great example of what this tournament is going to develop. Last year, Mexico's under 17 Stefano Carrillo was the brightest player of the tournament. Santos just announced Carrillo transferred to Feyenoord in the Netherlands.
How many players of that national team you have now being
Well,
transferred?
that's the goal. Exactly. If they play every year, you're going to have a structural development base for these categories. And that's why I like the idea of having the World Cup every year. Federations are actually going to have to put their feet to work. They're actually going to have to work. So you have, let me give you an example. Honduras under 17, under the leadership of Valladares, Jose Valladares.
Jose
Right?
Valladares. When Valladares used to be with national team.
3 World Cups back to back to back qualifiers.
How many of those players made it to the
It doesn't
big?
matter, but that's not the task. But that's not the task of this. Is an
It
individual
should
struggle,
be the task.
but it's not.
FIFA is not here just to organize tournaments. FIFA is actually as the mother structure. They're here to see and oversee the development of every single program out there, not just the men's national team. When you get to the World Cup in the pro level, they're here to not only organize, they're here to oversee. They're here to. They need to develop. They need to make sure that we're doing the process like we have to be doing
The
it.
process has to be done privately. That's why MLS has created this MLS Next Pro or Pro to or Path to Pro, because it's an individual effort. Federations can monitor, Alex. They don't have the capacities, they don't have the resources, they don't have the task to develop professional players. That's professionalism is an individual task. It's not a federation.
And you're going to make that by playing a World Cup every year when
Oh,
under
you're gonna make the federations work around recruiting and identifying talented players.
they're going to complain. They're going to complain. Oh, we don't have the money. All players are exhausted. Oh, because they have to play
They
tournaments.
can be exhausted. They don't play.
On.
You're not talking senior teams. You're not talking pros. These are players who are 15, 16 years old.
Exactly.
They don't play.
They play every single weekend on the local level.
There's no load of games. There's no load of schedules. They don't play. So the fact that they have year competitions every year means that as they're finishing the qualifying process, a new qualifying process will start. So
And that's the only thing that I like
federations
about
will actually have to work and not just pretend they work.
and that's the only thing that I like about this tournament, that you're going to have a cycle. Now you're going to have more players. That's the only thing that we can actually save from all this craziness. And I am concerned about having a tournament every single year. I will actually listen. Let me tell you something. We're talking about getting ready for a World Cup every single year. Where are the players going to play? How are they going to qualify to it? We don't even, in Central America, we don't have the infrastructure for this. I mean, you're going to have federations complaining on every single day. Oh, the players are tired. Oh, we don't have the infrastructure. Oh, we don't have the money. Oh, now we're going to have to try. We're going to have to travel again. There is a lot of money involved in this. And like I said, FIFA is not supposed to only organize events in tournaments. FIFA is here to oversee and actually make sure that the development of every single soccer program out there gets done. And that's the thing that we're not seeing. Yes, we're going to have players coming now, and you know, we're going to have a cycle. We're going to have more players. We're going to have the opportunity. But who's going to see these players? Where are they going to be broadcast? How are we going to follow the path like a pro level? You know, like
Let me explain. Since you asked, let me explain you and everyone watching CONCACAF how it's going to work. So this is the under 17 boys qualifier, and as you see, you have three groups of 5 teams, and then you have 5 groups of 4 teams. So each winner will have a direct qualifying bet for the World Cup in Qatar. So Group A, Canada raises their hand as their favorite. Group B, Costa Rica is the big favorite. Group C, Mexico is the big favorite. Let's talk about Mexico as a powerhouse in the world in this category.
they have always been there.
Group D, very easy for Honduras. Actually, 2 of those teams are not even affiliated to FIFA. Group E, that's a very good matchup. Haiti, Guatemala. It's hard to say who's favorite. Haiti has grown a lot. I'm going to put my chip for Haiti. The United States, Cuba, St. Kitts, and the Virgin Islands, a very easy group for the United States. Group G, Panama should qualify without any kinds of issues. And Group H is Jamaica. So these groups are divided around the CONCACAF region, and teams are playing in their group. This is a round-robin tournament. Each team will play once against each member of this group, and only the winner will qualify to Qatar 2025. So this is what the under-17 boys qualifier looks like for CONCACAF. Don't tell me you don't like this tournament. Don't tell me if you are the president for Dominica's federation, you're not excited about your under-17 kids playing every single year this qualifying tournament. This is great. This is developmental.
You know what? There's a reality check here, Camilo. And you can put if you can put that graphic again, I will appreciate it, because there's a lot of things that you did not mention. Yes, thank you very much for giving us all the teams. But let me tell you something. When Canada have to go to Bermuda, and Bermuda doesn't even have a field to play. When Canada have to go to
they play at a venue. They meet in one place, and that's
exactly
where they play.
So how is this fair? How is this fair for Bermuda? How is this fair for Curacao? How is this fair for Anguilla? You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we are not taking in consideration with it. I mean, Honduras, when Honduras have to travel to where, Puerto Rico or whatever, I mean, come on. Who's going to pay them? Who's going to put the money and say, okay, we got 32 national teams. Out of the 32 national teams, they have to travel 90 times or whatever you want to call it. I mean, who's going to give the money? This is a tournament that right now we do have the money for it, but down the line, who's going to sponsor this event? How are we going to keep up with an event that you have so many things that you got to put money for? And I mean, the money is going to run out sooner or later.
That's where Morocco and Qatar come into play. That's where the money's coming from.
And you got to think, why are they going to get out of it? What are they getting out of it? That's the only problem. Like I said, there is a lot of situations.
Contract signed with the next president based on sponsorship.
Like if you said, if I'm the president of Bermuda and I'm going to play every year and I'm going to get money for it, and I'll be happy. But there's a reality check that I have to come out to and say, okay, can I do this on every single year?
Then you're just justifying the mediocre behavior of the CONCACAF Federation.
No, I think it's just I know the
Self
reality. I know the truth.
self sustainability. That's what federations need
Nothing is
to
going to
aim.
change, Camilo.
Self sustainability. Now, let me tell you something. Like I said, if you're a groupie, you already know this. CONCACAF already played their qualifying rounds for the girls under 17. Alex, this tournament was organized differently because four nations were automatically qualified for the
Mhm.
next round based on ranking position. So the United States, Canada, Mexico, and Haiti did not play qualifier rounds. They were set in the next stage, but the rest of the teams actually played at set venues, and only the winner of each group and the two best second places qualify for the next round. So you're going to have eight qualified teams plus four teams that were already set in the second round playing in March at three groups of four teams each. Winners go to Morocco, and two places for the second best, but best second places also will qualify. So CONCACAF will have five spots in the Morocco 2025 World Cup under 17 for women.
That's important. And here's the deal. This is a tournament that like completely opposite from the men's tournament. I really like the opportunity for female players to showcase their talent. And the only way you do this is by the only way you can get this done is by doing what CONCACAF and FIFA is doing with the female soccer in CONCACAF. Listen, this is different from the men's. I completely agree. You have to give them exposure. You have to make them play every single year. This is a completely opposite of the spectrum when you talk about men's soccer and women's soccer. I really like what I'm seeing from, for example, from El Salvador. I really like, and it's a process for El Salvador has been already 3 or 4 years that they have actually been playing top level. And how do you get this done? By giving them minutes, by giving them tournaments, making sure they do have enough tournaments to compete. And I think this is good the way they're handling.
So you like the under 17 for girls, but not for boys being played every single year. You want to talk about development? Please, please show me graphic B. Your home country, Alex. For years, female soccer in Honduras was buried under the ashes.
Correct.
Look at this. Honduras comes. Not only they qualify for the second round, they do it undefeated, beating TNT, Belize, and the Virgin Islands. Isn't this a great developmental step for
Amazing.
women soccer in Honduras?
Amazing. Because now
This is
you
what
have
this
a platform.
tournament gives you, right?
Because now they're making sure they play. And that's what I'm saying. And you said it right. They've been, I mean, they've been left aside for forever and ever. Female soccer, women's soccer did not exist in Central America. And that's the reason I'm saying it's completely different than men's soccer. You got to have these tournaments on, every year to make sure they play, to make sure they stay in a competitive level, to make sure they don't go for, they nobody forgets about them anymore, like they have been under the shadow for
Same
many
for
years.
boys and girls. Same. This is what this tournament will offer. Do you want to see before we say goodbye? Do you want to see who qualify for the next stage in the girls?
Show it to me. Let me see it.
Let's
See it.
let's see it. Let's see this.
See it.
So, what we were seeing. Let me see. We were seeing. Is this here where we are? Yeah. All right. So, Group A. No surprises here. Puerto Rico qualified. This is a very strong program. Puerto Rico has grown a lot in female soccer, so they completed their status as favorites and moved on to the next stage. Now, in this group, Bermuda, with 6 points and a positive difference of 5 goals, also made it to the next stage. In Group B, big surprise. The favorite was Trinidad and Tobago. Honduras beat TNT and made it to the second round. Big step, like we said a couple seconds ago, big step for Honduran women's soccer, making it to the next stage. Group C, Panama, Alex, no surprise. Panama has becoming a very strong team in every single aspect of football, boys, girls, seniors, grandpas, whatever you want. Panama is a main role in every single thing CONCACAF is doing. Panama beat Cuba, who were considered the runner-ups. Group D, talk about the best team in this qualifying rounds. El Salvador, not only they won all three matches, they won scoring 22 goals. They received zero non-goal score, or received 22 goals scored plus 22 in goal difference. This is a big candidate for the World Cup.
Amazing, and that's what I was telling you a few seconds ago. El Salvador has actually done something right. They were actually left under the shadow for many, many years now. El Salvador is up and coming. I really like what I'm seeing in women's soccer in El Salvador, and I hope they continue to play it.
El Salvador, that's Hugo Perez's heritage, right? Of knocking the door in the United States and talking to the hermanos lejanos, or the faraway brothers and sisters, and bringing that Salvadorian generation in the United States. Group E, this was a surprise, Alex. Jamaica was considered the favorite. Nicaragua winning on a really amazing game. Nicaragua won 2-1 and made it to the next stage. Nicaragua giving that upset, leaving Jamaica behind. And Costa Rica, no surprises, defeated the Dominican Republic and Granada. So Puerto Rico and Bermuda, Honduras, Trinidad and Tobago, that made it as a second, as a group runner-up. Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, and El Salvador, with Panama, make it to the next stage, where they will face three groups of 4 teams, joined by the United States, Canada, Haiti, and Mexico.
That will be interesting to see. That will be really interesting to see.
Well, Alex, thank you for joining CONCACAFing this week. Thank you for the subscribers. Our channel has grown amazingly since our first episode, and we're very thankful for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much to everyone. I hope we continue to have this conversation on a weekly basis, and hopefully soon, why not? On a daily basis, right? I mean, who said that we can do it? It all depends on the followers. It all depends on the fans, and what, how we get to you. Hope to see you next week, Camilo, and thank you very much for having me here in the show.
Thank you. And like I say, if you like us, please subscribe, please share, and remember, keep CONCACAFing.